This is a beginner's guide to the driller class in Deep Rock Galactic with basics on the class. Before we start, it would be great if you subscribe to this channel and like the video as it helps out a lot. Anyway, I'll get started now. Firstly, the driller class is a more difficult class to play compared to the scout and the gunner due to its peculiar weapons and gadgets with unclear usage. This class I would recommend for more advanced players and probably not beginners. This does mean the driller is not a great class for solo missions, but for supporting team members in team missions. Starting on the primary weapons, the driller starts with a flamethrower which sets creatures on fire, causing them to take tick damage until the fire goes out over time. This is a good weapon for large groups of enemies due to the large magazine size and capacity to do damage to multiple targets at once. On the other hand, it is definitely not good for taking out single enemies, with most players deciding to use their secondary weapon for single target encounters and saving the flamethrower ammunition for swarms. The next weapon the driller unlocks is the cryo cannon, designed to, when shot at enemies, freeze them with ease, allowing for higher damage to be done on the immobile targets. This is good for swarms and average against single targets, but without teammates it is difficult to maximize use. This allows the weapons to support teammates by making teammates do more damage. The last primary weapon is the corrosive sludge pump, which is a very unique weapon that shoots out slow moving goo at the creatures, causing them to move slower and take tick damage in the goo. Charging up this weapon causes it to fire a larger ball of goo, which spits out into multiple puddles when it hits a surface. This weapon is good for larger groups and limited against single targets. Moving on to the secondary weapons, the driller starts with the Sabata 120, which is a generic pistol with low damage, low fire rate and high accuracy. This is a very bad weapon on its own, but when used with the primaries the driller has, gets some usage. Overall, you probably want to choose any other driller secondary over this one once you unlock others. The next secondary is the experimental plasma charger, with low accuracy and high fire rate. This weapon has no magazines and has overheating mechanics. This comes with an ability to charge the shot up, using more ammo and producing a slow moving projectile that deals splash damage to enemies. This weapon has good usage in some situations thanks to its high fire rate, but will disappoint when firing at longer range. The last secondary is the Collect Wave Cooler. This is a weapon that fires a stream at the enemy, which slowly defeats it. There is little situations this would be good in, so it would be best to stay away from the weapon until you become more advanced. Now, moving on to the gadgets and grenades. The first gadget is the Reinforced Power Drills, which is the driller's ability. It can quickly create large tunnels that the players can comfortably fit through and travel through. This is a very good mobility tool for teams and can easily create their own tunnels and make their own way to mission objectives. Next, the Satchel Charge is a C4 with a very large explosion radius and large damage, allowing it to be used effectively against big groups of enemies and swarms. Moving on to the grenades, the starter grenade is the Impact Axe. This is a throwable axe that does medium damage to single targets and can be picked up in most situations. These are hard to aim and useless against groups, but you start with lots of them, so good for quickly defeating Praetorians. Next is the High Explosive Grenade, which is a default frag grenade, which is simple but effective. There is little to say about this, so I'll move on to Neurotoxin Grenade, designed to cause enemies to attack other enemies when thrown. This helps deal with Praetorians and small to large groups of creatures. Lastly is a spring-loaded Ripper, which is a gadget that, when thrown, travels in a straight line, mowing down anything in its way. This is very effective against large groups of enemies. Overall, the driller is more of a support class and works well with teammates, and less so much on its own. Thanks for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe and like if you found this useful or entertaining. That's been a beginner's guide to the driller. Bye.